Welcome back to Justice. Let's talk more about the Andrew McCabe firing and the fallout. Joining me now, a Republican strategist, attorney, and committee woman for the RNC here in California, Harmeet Dillon. Harmeet, great to have you here.
Happy to be here.
We know a federal employee can be fired. But the question is, does Andrew McCabe have any recourse? I mean, he's kicking and screaming right now, I'm a victim. But does he have a recourse, any recourse?
Well, what's interesting is that most federal employees, if they're terminated, have a right to appeal to the Merit Service Protection Board, but the FBI doesn't have the right to do that. So unless he can show that there's some egregious violation of his constitutional rights, which I think is insurmountable given the fact that the career employees at the Office of Professional Responsibility at the FBI recommended his termination, I think he's out of luck. And one more point is that he doesn't lose his pension altogether. He simply can't take it right away. So it's also an exaggeration to say that, oh my God, he's being stripped of everything.
He gets it when he's 57?
57 instead of 50. He would have turned 50 tomorrow.
Folks? You heard it here first on Justice. I read that too today. He is not getting his pension now. He gets it when he's 57 in 7 more years.
That's right. And he doesn't sort of get to juice it and take more out of the system because he doesn't get to take it early. But it's not like he's out of luck and the money that he's paid in is being forfeited.
All right. I just want to start this conversation. Judge Contreras, he is the one who took General Flynn's plea.
Yes. He
recused himself a week later. That means, folks, he took himself off the case voluntarily. And now he's coming up and Strzok and McCabe's, Strzok and his girlfriend Paige's conversations that, we should meet with him surreptitiously so nobody knows in a dinner party setting. Where are your antennas going?
So let's look at the timeline, Judge. This Judge Contreras is a judge on the FISA court. Now, we don't know if he's the judge who issued one of the subpoenas in this case for the wiretapping of Carter Page. But in July 2016, these two, Page and Strzok, are having conversations between themselves that were pieced together very recently, talking about ways they can have a social meeting with the judge, and they're talking about ways to cover it up and cover up the purpose of it. They talk about the fact that he's one of the FISA judges, the FISC judges, and they talk about the fact that the judge who's close to Strzok surely knows that Strzok is in charge of foreign counterintelligence at the FBI. So it stinks of a conspiracy to me, and they're even talking about inviting other people for cover to make sure it doesn't look out of the ordinary and to get close to the judge, but not so close that the judge is forced to recuse himself.
And they are suggesting that the recommendation of a dinner party, so that it doesn't look obvious that they're talking to each other. So, I mean, this really smells to high heaven, because you've got one judge who's on the Flynn case who takes himself off because he did something. He got caught in something. You don't just recuse yourself a week later.
It's not clear that he recused himself, Judge. That's also interesting. On December 1st, he took the plea, and then on December 7th, the court announced that he has been recused. That's not the same as recused himself.
That's even worse. Someone took him off the case a week later.
And to this day, we have no explanation.
He's the same judge. The stink is pretty clear now. He's the same judge that Strzok is saying, I can wheel and deal with him, but let's do it under the cover of a dinner party.
Right, and involve other FBI people. So that's where I talk about a conspiracy. They seem to have a willing group of people who would show up at a cocktail party or at a dinner party and get close to this judge, knowing that he's on the FISA court. For what purpose? It's extremely fishy. And of course, this comes around the same people talking about an insurance policy. They're texting how they hate the president. And this is before the election. So this is a deep game these people have been playing.
Harmeet Dillon, you are so bright. We're so happy to have you here. The swamp draining continues. Thanks. We're going to be right back, folks.